I'm Andrew Davis.
And I'm Kurt Moulton. Let's take a little trip.
Kurt and I had always wanted to go on a road trip. Ever since we graduated from high school, we'd talked about seeing America. That was 10 years ago. Well, we finally decided to take our road trip, but we realized that we needed a place to go. More than that, I guess we needed a reason. And then it hit us. Let's explore hidden America.
You know, those roadside attractions and tourist traps that aren't anyone's destination but sort of, well, get in the way. They're monuments to the weird and the tacky, but they're also fascinating. Why do these places exist? Why do people stop to marvel or mock at them? I mean, some roadside attractions took time and efforts that are impressive, even if the end result isn't. We're not talking about the Sistine Chapel or the Great Wall of China here, but at the same time something, some vision, some need to create, drove someone to display their achievement.
We set out to find those oddities, those reminders of mediocre human passion, from the bizarre to the tragically remarkable. Kurt and I decided that the best place to start was in our own state.
Huntsville is located about 15 miles outside of Ogden, at the end of narrow and winding Ogden Canyon. In Huntsville, there's a saloon called the Shooting Star. It's Utah's oldest running saloon. Founded in 1879 by Håkan Olsen and originally known as Håkan's Hole until the 1950s, the saloon is famous for its old-fashioned atmosphere and the Shooting Star burger. Okay, so here we are. Let's go on inside. Huh.
Closed?
It's closed. But it's open daily, so that's good to know. Ah, son of a...
Arriving on a day when the bar was open, we were overwhelmed by the many odd and interesting objects decorating the walls. We had the opportunity to sit down and talk about the saloon's history with Carol Conway, an employee of 27 years.
What can you tell me about some of the interesting items that are displayed here at the saloon?
Yeah, well, look at the ceiling. You see the dollars on the ceiling? There's approximately 10,000 out there. The first one went up in 1942.
Wow.
It's a 1901 dollar. And the reason it is up there is because there was a patron. His name was Whiskey Joe, Vern Stoker. And he was a character in town. Probably was a patron from the time he could see over the bar. In 1942, well, prior to that, we had a still, and we sold whiskey, and he kept $1 here in case he was ever broke, and he never used it. So when he went to war, they sent him back shell-shocked in about at the end of 42, 43. When he came back, they never charged him for another drink, and they put his dollar on the ceiling. And then after that, there were 2 or 3 guys up here that died in World War II, and they put them up as memorials.
What about some of the other items on the walls?
Take, for instance, Buck, our dog. He's our mascot. Buck was born and raised in the Shamrock Bar in West Yellowstone. He died in 1957, and his owner loved him very much and had him stuffed. At the same time, he was put in the Guinness Book. He was the biggest dog in the world on record.
Wow.
The owner moved to Ogden, Riverdale Road, and built another Shamrock Bar. And it hung there until he retired. He retired in about 62. And his wife wouldn't let him bring it in the house when he retired.
I can't imagine why.
No.
It's so attractive.
So he drove it around in his Jeep for a year. And he hung out in the Star, and he wanted to be able to see his dog. And he asked if we would hang it here. And he's been our mascot ever since.
Buck has become a legend, and he was the original reason Kurt and I decided to visit the Star. When he was alive, Buck reportedly weighed 297 pounds. He was so large that his head was mounted on a grizzly bear mount.
Why do you think the Shooting Star's appeal has lasted so many years?
It's consistent. It doesn't change, and the world changes a great deal. People are comfortable in something that doesn't change. They can come back 10, 20 years, and it's the same place. And a lot of the people stay here a long time, so it's a familiar face. People from all over the world come here for that reason.
So we met Buck and left a memento of our visit, thereby becoming a small part of this, our first roadside attraction.